Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Content Tea. I'm really excited to be here today. It's the end of another busy week. I'm really happy that you're joining me today, and I hope to see more of you jumping on as we go along. So, today, actually, this whole week has been quite different. It's been very busy. Um, I don't know how it's going in your part of the world, but where I am in Malta, we are beginning to slowly lift restrictions. So, business seems to be slowly recovering. A lot of people are beginning to, look forward again and make plans. But there's still fears, and I must admit, I'm one of those people probably that are maybe it's because I have an online business and I have the option to stay home, but I am, a little bit concerned about the fact that, the numbers might spike up again. So we'll see. The kids are still at home. In Malta, it looks like they're going to be at home probably all the way through to September. We'll see how that goes. It is nice to allow the kids to go out and have fun and meet, but of course, not at the expense of their safety, and that, of course, of the older people in our families as well. Okay, so do let me know if you can hear me and see me well. Do jump on. I should be able to see the comments on the side. I am a little bit more used to Ecam Live than I was last week. I'm rather liking it, and I am probably going to jump onto a pro license next week because I think it's doing really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to pop into Facebook right now to see if I can have a look, to see if I can see your comments, because that's very important. I want to make sure that I can definitely answer you when you ask me questions. So let's have a look at whether I can see your comments. Okay, here we are. So, yep, I can see my live, which is great. Much better than actually being directly on Facebook, because I can see myself, but I don't have to hear myself. Okay, and I can see that Rebecca is here. Hi, Becky. We will be doing your landing page later today, so that's great. So Becky's here with us because we will be reviewing her landing page in the second part of today's content tea. And okay, and after that, we will also be. I have a question from Maria today, which I will be answering with a mini training in the beginning. And then, hi, Jacqueline. I can see Jacqueline's here as well. Hi, nice to see you again. Okay, so, well, today, actually, for Content Tea, today I have dug out um, one of my special teacups. Don't know if you can see, it's actually called the Kiss. And it was, I believe it was an anniversary present. I'm not sure if it was anniversary or Valentine's, but considering me and my husband don't usually do Valentine's, I think it was an anniversary gift. And it's part of a series actually. You can get you can get the milk jug and all the other things that match it. And yes, my tea is red as well. It matches my, it's actually raspberry tea. It matches my shirt today, which is great because I'm actually very good at dropping my drinks on my shirt. So, so that should do the job. Okay, so let's start with today's question. I'm going to try something a little bit new today. So I'm going to get the question and I'm going to see if you can see it on my screen. So Maria sent me, let me pop into Maria's email and copy and paste her question, because I think it was a very good question and I've heard this from my clients before. So I think you're going to be you're going to find this really useful because it's about keywords. So let me see where I can paste this in so you can see it on the screen. Okay. Okay, so it looks like I actually can only put that when I'm not there. Right, so, okay, interesting. Okay, so I'm going to paste the question right here in the comments because so to give you the opportunity to actually read it out. So Maria asks us, when you are writing an article about a keyword, let's say it's called motivation, let's say her keyword is motivation, does the rest of the title matter? So she says, I mean that in the title motivation, how to work out every day, because Maria helps people get fit, going to be based on both the whole wording. So look it up on SERP, which is SERP is basically the Google search results, and the keyword being present in the title. Or is the whole title only interesting from the point to get someone to click it? Okay, so let's break down the question into a simpler thing. So her first question is sort of, what do we do with the word motivation if motivation is our keyword? Now I'd like to backtrack a little bit and talk about the keyword motivation. Now motivation is, first of all, it's a one-word keyword, which automatically is going to tell me that it's a keyword that is hard to rank for, and that is also generic, because motivation is not necessarily connected to getting fit. Motivation can be connected to, getting out of bed in the morning. It can be connected to achieving your goals. It can be connected to business. It can be connected to career or, anything else. It is such a vast word. So from the onset, motivation by itself does not make a very good keyword. Motivation to lose weight, how to find the motivation to lose weight, how to motivate yourself to do exercise. Now that is already a little bit more specific. So the first thing is, when you're looking at keywords, look at keywords that are specific to your niche. Do not go to keywords that are very, very vast, because you're going to be competing with a lot of people who are trying to hit keywords that, are as generic as this one. So definitely go smaller. Go smaller when it comes to the keyword. Now, of course, the keyword cannot be the entirety of your title. So sometimes you can have a title that is long and can be a whole keyword itself. And sometimes we can have keywords that are shorter. What I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to pop into my blog and I'm going to show you a few examples, because I actually know a lot of the keywords that I deal with in my blog by heart, so you can actually see that. Okay, so here we are. I'm sharing my screen. Just pop me a message if you can see it clearly. Let me know. Just pop in the comments and let me know that you can see my screen. So here we are. So when I go down to my blog, and this is what I wanted to show you. So we're just talking about titles here, so we don't necessarily need to go into further detail. Do let me know whether you can see this and hear me clearly. Excellent. Okay, I can see something popping up. Okay, very well. Okay, excellent. So, brilliant. So I can see your comments. I can see that people are interacting, and I can see that it's working fine. So let's have a good look at the titles. So for instance, when you have a title that is, for instance, content marketing for coaching, for coaches, now that is, of course, a keyword, one of the keywords that I have been optimizing for, because as you know, I work with coaches, consultants, and service providers. So at the moment, I am honing in on the content for coaches specifically. So I am dealing with very specifically that sort of keyword cloud. Just a second, let me tell my daughter to stop messaging me. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay. Okay, here we go. So when we have content for marketing for coaches is actually a keyword. It's a full keyword in itself. And in this case, if you have a look at the post and you click on it, you will see that in the URL at the top, content marketing for coaches is actually the URL at the top. So it's actually the web address. So my full keyword and my title are also my web address, and this kind of keyword lends itself very well. But you can have shorter or longer keywords, and let's see what I have done sort of as a little trick so that I can actually use these. So for instance, let's have a look at this one. This was quite quite a popular one. So the title of this one is Does Your Coach Website Pass the Google Test? The keyword here is coach website. So as you can see, coaching website or coach website, which are the keywords I'm actually optimizing this blog post for, are not just the entirety of my title. So what I would do is I would optimize the article for that particular keyword by obviously weaving in the keyword in the right places in all the copy. It doesn't necessarily need to be anywhere in particular in my title, but it needs to be there. In terms of YouTube, I know that Jacqueline is also on YouTube. In terms of YouTube, it really helps to have the keyword at the very beginning of your title. So I'm going to look for an example. Here you are. One way I love to cheat is by simply putting the keyword here at the front and then adding the rest of the title or a title that I would have chosen if I didn't have to pick a keyword after the keyword. So this is actually a very good way. You will probably see if you pop into my YouTube channel that most of my YouTube titles actually look something like this. So definitely here, as you can see, the keyword can be placed in different places as long as it is mentioned in the rest of the copy and you have it in your subtitles and you've optimized all the different places you need to put it on your web page, then you will be fine. So the repeated keyword needs to be the one you picked, but of course, it doesn't actually need to be by itself your title. And of course, the longer the keyword, the more likely you are to rank for it. Stronger keywords like motivation, I would tend to add something more to them, like, for instance, weight loss motivation, for instance, or fitness motivation, and to make it specific to my industry and what I do. And then I would definitely make that one of the categories in my blog. I would not make it a specific article because that would be a category because it's very important and it's one of the pillars of the thing I teach. So definitely, I would say it needs to be a little bit more niche. I'm going to pop back into Maria's email and I'm going to double check that I have actually answered all the questions in there. Okay. Present in the title. Okay, so it looks like we have answered Maria's question well. And in the meantime, if you have any questions about what I'm talking about, feel free to pop them into the chat and I'll be very happy to answer you. So the next thing to do is have a sip of tea before we move on to actually looking at Becky's landing page. It's a very unusual shape. Not so comfortable to drink from, actually. I think now I remember why I had put it back in the cupboard. Okay, so sometimes, for design, you have to, for when you make something pretty, you have to compromise other things. Okay, so I am now going to pop into Becky's landing page and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you her page so that we can go. I can give Becky some feedback because she has submitted this page. For those of you who don't know or maybe are popping onto the live for the first time. I have been reviewing people's Facebook pages, social media presence, landing pages, and also websites. So if there's anything you need to know, maybe you've just finished your page and you want somebody to have a look at it to give you a bit of feedback. Maybe you want to know if the navigation works, or feel free to drop me a line or join my Facebook group, and you'll be able to pop your website onto the appropriate posts, because I will be asking people in my group to submit their website so that I can help them out. Okay, so this is Becky's page. Becky runs the Ladies Running Club. So I can see immediately, because I have worked with Becky before, and I know that this is a different logo. So, okay, so the first thing that strikes me is the logo, that the logo is a little bit too small. I think this logo was created to be in a square, potentially. And usually when we use logos on a website, they tend to be horizontal. So in fact, this is quite common in the when you do a logo, when you design a logo. In the old days, we used to say that it needs to look good on a thumbnail, which means that it needs to look good when it's sort of smaller. But these days, we also need to keep in mind that the logo needs to look good on our Facebook page, and also needs to look good on a landing page like this. Horizontal logos tend to work a little bit better, but sometimes we don't have the choice to do that. What I would suggest is that perhaps you have a vertical version of it. Sorry, not a vertical, a horizontal version of it. And, or perhaps try to just increase the size a little bit. It's also a little bit strange that it's sitting there by myself. I would be tempted to say remove the top banner completely, because you really don't need it, actually. I would be happy to just go into right away into what the page is showing me. Okay, so definitely I would say, if possible, remove the top banner. If not, try to make the logo look better, and potentially also add a contact link there, so that the banner at the top looks like it has some sort of use. If it has a contact button on it, it will look like it's useful. Okay, so Becky has asked a question, says, wasn't sure whether to use my logo there or my name and qualification. I don't think at this stage it needs qualification. So the first thing I want to see when I go on a landing page is the promise. So what are you promising me? And what is on offer on this page? Usually people land on a landing page when they have clicked on a post on social media. Maybe they have clicked on your event. Maybe they have clicked on an email, or maybe they have clicked on a story that you posted. So when they land here, they are ready to absorb the information about the event that you are talking about. So I do not believe that it needs the banner in that case. You don't need to introduce yourself yet. I would introduce myself later in the page. So I like the picture. What I would do, though, is maybe I like this. You don't have to go fast and just have to go. I like that a lot. I would probably say that I would not put that on the picture. So I would try to not put text on the pictures, because I find that a little confusing myself. Just to make it a little bit neater, I would probably add this. So I would switch it around. So feeling stressed, need a bit of solo outdoor time, and so this bit, the text, I would definitely put at the top. So I would put it on top here. And then, because that connects to how the client is, so how your audience is feeling. So definitely I would start by putting that at the top. I like the fact that the virtual couch to 5K is a different color and it stands out. So I would definitely put that there. And I would change this to a promise. So, need to get out and get fitter. I would change it to a more specific promise and use something like um, feel stronger and fitter in under 6 weeks, or feel stronger and fitter by the end of June. So whatever the program length is, just make a very specific promise, especially if you mention time or weight loss, or if you put numbers in it where you make it very specific, it really helps. Okay, so here, okay, the picture is nice because it shows people having fun and actually doing what you're talking about. So that's great. So I immediately know that this is about running, and sort of we can sort of tweak the text there a bit to connect to how our audience is feeling. The next thing I would do is I like these. If you have ever dreamt about starting to run, now is a great time. Yes, I do like these statements. I would try and sort of separate them a little bit from the top visuals. So maybe I would just do the background in a different color, or maybe I would just do them as 3 bullet lists. Um, Maybe you could call this like a benefits section, and I would sort of format them just a little bit differently, because these look to me, because they are squares and there are no pictures with them, they feel a little bit unfinished. So I would just try to change the layout a little bit. This, in fact, is the right place to put your name and your qualification. Again, because you are promoting yourself as a running coach, in this case, I would put running coach first, because that is your main source of income, not the physiotherapy. So, of course, being a physiotherapist really helps when you're also a running coach, because you can help your clients with their ailments. And in this case, if they're starting from zero because they're starting from the couch, then of course it really helps to work with someone who's not going to push you to a point where it's going to hurt your body. So I think it's very important that you mention that you're a physiotherapist, but you shouldn't lead with it, um, because what you're selling is more connected to the running. So I would just switch the two around. Um, I also would try to connect. I love the fact that the picture has eye contact, so I think it's a very good choice. But I wouldn't then put a third party bio next to it. So I wouldn't speak about myself in the third person. I would actually go in the first person. So I would say, "Hi, I'm Becky. I'm a mom of 2 kids, and I'm passionate about running." And I think that would help the connection a lot more. Um, So otherwise, everything looks great. How it works is important. You're always going to have people who want to know exactly how it works. Sign up to start anytime and from anywhere. So it might help to tell me how I'm going to sign up. So whether you're going to sign up online, whether, let's have a look. So in this case, you would say sign up by filling the form below, so that I know that I need to scroll down. And then you will receive weekly emails with guidance on exactly how to build up from zero to running. You may want to tell them what's in the email, if it's going to be a video, um, if it's going to be, I don't know, a PDF that's going to be attached to this email with instructions. So just let them know more or less what they're going to do. So then they have weekly online sessions that will include a simple strength-based workout. Okay, so you may want to tell me how you're going to deliver these classes, whether they have to join a Facebook group, whether they're going to use Zoom, and maybe also the duration of these classes. And then support with a closed Facebook group. Okay, so you've already mentioned. Okay, so we have mentioned the group. Yes, where you can share progress and ask questions. Excellent. So that is fine. The only requirement is that you follow the guidelines of your local health authorities and practice social distancing as recommended. Yes. Okay. So that works really well. Yeah, I would say not a requirement. I would say only recommendation. Um, and the testimonials work pretty fine to me. I would be tempted to say for the whole page, as the smallest font is a little too small. I would increase it by 1 point. As a general rule for landing pages, they say once you feel it's finished and you're happy with it, just go in and increase everything by 1 or 2 points. Make it a little bit larger. And in fact, as a reader, I can see that I kind of want it to be very easy to read, and I think feeling like it's almost a little too big is going to make it really comfortable to read. We must remember, of course, that people, especially people over 40, like myself, are not going to have, the best eyesight. So that's good to remember. If you can make these little pictures a little bigger, I definitely would, because I like to see the faces behind the testimonial. Otherwise, they work really nicely for me. You seem to have 2 rows with the same people, so these just need a little bit of tweaking. Just make sure that you don't have double testimonials, because from the pictures it's very apparent. Okay, and here is the price. And then you have a registration form. Okay, so what I would be tempted to say is I would first of all add a call to action next to the price. So book today for only 60 euros for 10 weeks. I would also put the dates when it starts and where it ends. And I would definitely add a button to put in your payment link. If you're not going to add a payment link, what you can do is actually you could put in instructions as to what is going to happen once they fill in the form. So you could say that once you fill in the form, you will receive an invite to the virtual couch to 5K, and you guide them through the process and what is going to happen there. So I think I would prefer it if there was a payment button myself, but of course it depends if you're all set up to receive payments from PayPal or... Okay, so you're saying that there is a PayPal link. Which would then take them to the Google form to sign up. I cannot see the PayPal link myself. So maybe the PayPal link comes in after they fill in the form. Let me fill in the form. Let me just check. Okay. I'm just going to fill in the form to test it, to see what happens there. Okay, so, okay, so there is going to be the button here, I see, under this. Okay, so in that case, you don't need to put in the form at the bottom. So if you're going to add the PayPal button over here, I would definitely put in an image. Oh, you're saying you can see it. It might be my browser. Maybe I just can't see it in my browser right now. I know that MailerLite themselves have been doing quite a few updates this week, so it may be a temporary glitch, or maybe it's just something. Definitely talk to the people behind the tool, because they will be able to help you out, and we can find out why the button is not working. I am tempted to try it in a different browser, so let me just paste this in a different browser, and then let's see if we can change the sharing window to show you all. So let's see. Oh, okay. The button is actually there, but it's on the side. It's aligned on the side. Okay, so this could be interesting for everyone. So let's see if I can switch. Let's see if I can switch. Yes, okay. Can you see the button on the side now? See, I can see the button here. So the only problem here is that you have actually pasted in the code for the PayPal button. The way I would do it is I would just add an image here that looks like a button. I would put this text on that image, 60 euros for 10 weeks. I would say join now. Ideally, with this kind of program, I would have an early bird price so that, you know, you give them a bit of urgency to book. So definitely I would say it's 60 euros if you book by such and such date, and then it will go up to 80. So I would definitely make that a little bit different. And once you have this button with the call to action on it, then you put in the code that PayPal would give you to place in an email. So when you create the PayPal button, it's going to give you the button code to embed the button. And then on the other side, in a little tab, it will give you the email code. What you want to do is get that email code and stick it on the button. You will not need this form because what you can do is you can create a separate onboarding form to collect their information. And in the PayPal settings, you can actually tell it there is a place. When you create the button, it will ask you where you want people to go when the payment is successful. And that is where you put the link to your Google form or maybe to another MailerLite form. So it goes directly into your email list so that makes things really, really smooth. Okay, so let's jump in and see. I think that's all the feedback I had for this page. I know that Becky said while I was talking that she is going to add more testimonials. Okay, so the section over there is still under construction, which is fair enough. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to jump in and have a look and see your comments because I want to make sure that I don't leave any of your comments unanswered. So let's have a look. Okay. Okay, yes. So the form was in case they have questions before signing up. Okay, this is an interesting point actually. So while I was reviewing the landing page, the form at the bottom that we could see right over here, Becky was saying, oops, hang on a second, that's the wrong one. It seems to have disappeared actually. Oh, here we are. Okay, so Becky was saying that people might have questions before signing up. That is a very, very valid point. A lot of people are going to have questions before signing up. So you need to make it easy for them to reach out to you. The easiest way to do that is by adding a Facebook Messenger pop-up. So you can see I have just actually installed it here. See these Facebook pop-up buttons? You can install those on your landing pages. If you go to the Facebook developer sections, you'll find the code that you can just paste into any landing page tool, and then you just connect it to your page, and that's it. You connect it to your page, and it will appear right here in the corner. And that way, you don't need to have the form. People can just message you, and they can ask you questions directly. So I would not recommend this because once people fill in a form, people don't really tend to read the details. They think maybe that they have already registered or, so it can be a little bit confusing if you have both a payment button and a form. Definitely. Okay, so let's see what other. So the PayPal link is possible in an email. Yes, the PayPal link can actually be sent in an email. And that same link that PayPal gives you to put in your email is the same link that you put on any landing page on your website, or you can use it in a landing page like this one and simply attach it to an image or even text if you want to. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to go back. Excellent. Okay, yes. So there's another interesting topic in the comments here where Becky, in the beginning, probably when I was talking about this, I believe the run for all, You're talking about the name versus the coaching trade name. That's quite interesting. I believe that as a coach, you don't really need a trade name. As a coach, most people will come and work with you because they're a good chemical and energetic match for you, and they like the way you do things. They like the way, they understand you. That's the most important thing when it comes to training and coaching. People want to see whether they understand the way you work and whether they like, how you get things organized. So I think in this case, especially, it's going to be a matter of leading with your own personal brand, with yourself, and being more. I know in the beginning it can be a bit uncomfortable. Um, it is quite. It's quite a contradictory business, coaching, because it is all about your clients. It is all about their success. We do everything for them, but if we are going to find the right clients, then we need to put ourselves out there and be visible. So it is, I find, quite contradictory, where in a way you wish you could hide, but if you hide, you're not going to find clients that are the right match. So the more visible you are, the more you put yourself, your you know your real self, which I think you can easily do because you have very much a passion and experience and qualifications to do this sort of thing. You lead with yourself. I think that's much better. And then in terms of the actual program, you can make sure that maybe if you want to develop the couch to 5K further, um, you or maybe run for all, you can create sort of the program, then has its own branding, and the program is, however, by Rebecca Gutt. So you become known for the person behind this program. It's a little bit of give and take. So people who know you are gonna want the program because it's by you, and people who have seen the program and have heard that it's good, then obviously that rubs off positively on the personal brand. So they kind of go together very much hand in hand. But I do not believe that in order to look professional, you need to have a logo for your program, or it's more important, I believe, to lead with honesty and show your testimonials. That is the most important thing. What matters most when it comes to especially coaching is your qualifications, your experience, and the fact that people are saying that you can do what you promise to do for them. So, you know, we call this online, we call it, it's like social proof. So, we like to look around us and see what other people are doing, what brands they're buying, what they're using to improve themselves. And that's how we get tempted. So the more people are actually giving you testimonials, if I'm already thinking of buying it because I've clicked on your social media post, and then I see that other people have already done it, then I'm going to be, so much more tempted. I mean, personally, I actually bought a program yesterday. I bought a course, and I was looking through the testimonials. Of course, I was already interested because I clicked on the ad. Um, but when I was on the landing page and I saw a testimonial from somebody I actually know, I know that she's been with me in a couple of courses I've already done. And she actually picked this trainer and gave her a great testimonial. For me, it was a no brainer. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll get this one too, sort of thing. Because so sometimes a testimonial from somebody we know can really hit the nail on the head. And in a small place like Malta, this is going to really, really help. Okay, so I see that we don't have any more questions for now. Okay, I see Tommy has joined us. Hi, Tommy. And yes, Tommy, of course, is talking about the testimonials. Tommy is from the UK and he does video testimonials. So he knows the value of that. It is something that's very important when you're selling something that is of pretty high value. It really helps to have video testimonials. For this case in particular, it is far too early in the business, but it's definitely something to consider down the line. When you're asking somebody to commit to something that is maybe long term, in terms of courses, if you're looking for a course that lasts 4 months to a year, then video testimonials is definitely something to look forward to in the future. Okay, so Excellent. So that's all I had for you today. I would really love to thank you for joining me this week. I will be with you again next Friday at the same time and the same place. And feel free to actually drop me a message or a comment after this live. I will keep answering your questions. I will make sure that if there were any I missed during this live, because of all these buttons on my screen, I may have missed some of the comments. There's so many things happening here. And, I will pop in afterwards. I will make sure that I've answered all your questions. And if you have any questions, you can drop me an email, you can join my Facebook group, and you can get back to me and let me know how I can help you further. Next week, we will be reviewing another website. So, also, if you have a page, a landing page, maybe a social media touch point that you want me to look at, I would be very happy to give you feedback. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again next week. Take care. Bye bye.